So I did a video yesterday on watercolor pencils, and I had done a couple different roses, just very whimsical, non-realistic roses for you, just to kind of show you how to use the watercolor pencils. But there is another way that I wanted to show you, and I didn't yesterday. So I was just messing around a little bit here last night. All right. I think there's another way to use these watercolor pencils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper and I'm going to put it on the side here. All right, and I'm going to be using this as my palette. So let's see if this works out. And I'm sure it will because I have done this a little bit before, but I never really did a whole picture, a whole painting on this. So let's go ahead and practice. I've got my Prismacolor watercolors here that I love. And also in yesterday's video, I showed you, I had bought this called Watercolor 72 watercolor pencils off of Amazon, and I was really impressed with these as well. But for today, just to keep it kind of simple, I am going to use my Prisma watercolor pencils because those are always my go-to. I want to do some leaves. Let's just do some leaves, but I'm going to do them in purple today. Purple and greens, I think. So instead of, normally, you would just take your pencil and you would do your leaf. Now see how I didn't make the side here? Because I don't want that distinct line right there. Yesterday I was doing the whole leaf. So today I'm going to do it a little bit different. This is one of the techniques I want to show you. So I'm just going to color in half my leaf. So I don't have that distinct line right there. I'm going to go ahead and apply some water. And then I'm going to let it bleed out so I don't have that line there. Look how soft that looks. Okay. So that's really pretty. You've got your dark side, which has got that line that you had originally drawn. And then you've got this lighter side that doesn't have any distinct line. So you can go ahead and pick up some of that. As long as it's wet, you can go ahead and pick up some of that pigment and lighten up that side of the leaf a little bit more. All right? Look how pretty that is. So this leads me into what I was thinking about last night. So let's go ahead and use this as our palette. So instead of drawing out half of our leaf or the full leaf, let's go ahead and just scribble on a bunch of that pigment right here on our page. We're gonna get that all nice and wet, and you can even just get half of it wet if you want to and save the other half for a little bit later. Now let's go ahead and do that same leaf. Look at that. Beautiful. So you're just using your scrap piece of paper as a palette. Now I like that look a little bit better than that look, but I guess it just kind of depends on what you're going for. There might be a time that I just want this nice distinct line. But there might be a time that I want it to be a little bit softer like that. Let's go ahead and pick up just half of that again. Look at how pretty that is. So basically, it's just like using regular watercolors, but you're just using that as a piece of paper as your palette. So basically, there's a pro and a con for doing it like this. The pro is if you're going outside or traveling or whatever and you want to bring your watercolors with you, it's just easier maybe to bring your watercolor pencils instead of your whole case of watercolors and just use a scrap piece of paper and use this as your palette. So that is a pro. It's less to carry, less to worry about. But the con is you're actually wasting a lot of your watercolor pencil on a scrap piece of paper. Because most of your, well, I shouldn't say most, but some of your paint is actually going on a piece of paper that you're just going to be throwing away. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of the watercolor pencil again. I should have showed you this last night. I apologize. So I decided to do a second little mini video just to show you. I am going to go ahead and finish this up, and I will show you at the end of the video. So I went ahead and I finished this little painting here, and I think it worked out really, really well, considering it was watercolor pencil and I didn't have a palette with me except for this scrap piece of paper. As you can see, these are the only amounts of scratches that I did on there with my watercolor pencil, just to use it as my palette. So there really wasn't that much to achieve a nice, what size is this? This is 8 by 5, almost 8 by 6. There wasn't really that much that I wasted over here with my watercolor pencil, I'm trying to say. So it worked out really well. The only thing that I'm not sure about, well, I guess I could have continued it in my painting, is this very first leaf that I did. See that nice strong line right there? I guess I could, well, let's see, maybe I can go in and make a couple, because right now that's just standing out to me and I'm not really liking it that much. So if I went ahead and I just took and I did a couple of those lines here and there, actually that's not even the same purple, oh here it is. If I did a couple of those lines here and there, maybe I can make that little leaf kind of fit in. So let's just do some little outlines here and there. And let's do one up here. All right. Blend that in. This one was the wrong color, but it actually looks really pretty. Might have to use a little bit more of that color in here. There. Now that one, I mean, it's still a little bit darker because it is my original line. But at least now there's some darker lines on my painting as well. And I'm going to go ahead and use that blue. Where was that? I think it was this one. It's really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and use, what is this color called? Ultramarine blue. Let's go ahead and pop in that color a little bit here and there too. And one over here. Okay, so now that I went ahead and made some of these little lines, I'm not liking my painting as much. I think I should have just left it alone. So that just kind of proves my point that I really like using a scratch piece of paper and just getting that really soft look without a hard line. So I just wanted to show you a little bit how to use your watercolor pencil in a different way than I showed you yesterday. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Have a great day. Bye.